What's up everyone and welcome back. Highlight Shinobi is return and will give the updates about Shinobi and anime world. In this video, we will discuss about anime Boruto episode 225 entitled The Battle of Close Friends. But before that, don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe so that Highlights Shinobi still has many interesting video for you. In the previous episode of Boruto, entitled The Legend of Bakaneko, which contained a fierce battle between the heirs of the Izuno clan named Wasabi, against Dothon knucklehead named Iwabe. In this second match, the rules are still the same as before, with the referee from a Jonin, namely Konohamaru. This fight will only result in one winner, who will immediately become a Chunin. After the first match ended with Hoki as the winner, Konohamaru returned to the arena after the arena was cleaned from the rest of the previous fight, and prepared to take a random scroll of participant names. The rest of the participants felt the tension again, because they didn't know who they would be fighting with. On the other hand, Sarada was worried about something else. Sarada was anxiously waiting for the arrival of her two friends, who had not yet appeared in the arena, namely Boruto Uzumaki and Mitsuki, even though the second match was about to start right then. The scroll was opened, and the name that came out was Wasabi Izuno, against Iwabe Uino. For a moment Sarada could breathe a sigh of relief, because the names that came out were not Boruto and Mitsuki. On the other hand, Boruto and Mitsuki are in trouble because they are trapped, after following a group of criminals to pin Amato on the Shinobi District train. With the Amato rescue mission, Boruto and Mitsuki then searched each carriage, although the situation was quite strange, because the train was very quiet and no one was there. With a calm mind Mitsuki told Boruto to stay focused and look for clues there. After entering the arena and competing, Konohamaru then checked the two participants, to see if they were ready or not. After feeling ready, Konohamaru started the second match on a signal from him, and immediately the two participants retreated backwards to prepare an attack. Iwabe opened the attack brutally, and continuously used his Great Earth Release technique. At first the fight between Iwabe and Wasabi looked one-sided, because from the start Iwabe was superior in attacking, while Wasabi focused on defending as if she had no intention of attacking with her full strength. This is not without reason. Wasabi looks uninspired because there is a big burden she has to carry, namely regarding the rise of the Izuno clan. Wasabi indirectly has to carry out a big responsibility where she has to be the winner, so that her clan is re-recognized in Konoha, plus her parents who was so hopeful that she would watch their daughter's game with her grandmother. Iwabe immediately realized this. The fight between the two of them that should have been exciting between the cat's physical strength and agility was not shown. The Wasabi family who saw their daughter was in a slump did not stay silent. They continued to encourage her without stopping. This only added to the burden on Wasabi's shoulders. She was increasingly afraid of disappointing the family who had high hopes for her. In despair Wasabi for the first time dripped water eyes in front of Iwabe. After Iwabe resuscitated Wasabi, she returned to her spirit. Wasabi then put on a hoodie, and opened a scroll. The green chakra aura turned into a fiery orange chakra aura, with a stance like a hunting cat. Wasabi then attacked straight at Iwabe. Earth Wall is activated by Iwabe to protect himself. Unexpectedly a single scratch of Wasabi can easily destroy the Earth Wall. Since both of them have run out of chakra, this final attack will be decisive. Wasabi with her Bakaneko claw, and Iwabe with his stone punch like a Tsuchikage, colliding with each other. An explosion occurred, thick smoke covered the arena, and it was seen that someone was trapped, on the edge of the arena wall destroyed, and that person is Iwabe. After the smoke clears the figure of Wasabi still standing with difficulty. The result of this match is Wasabi who win and become Chunin. The second battle in the final exam has ended, where Wasabi Izuno who fought Iwabe Uino finished. The other participants and the audience still felt a tense and exciting atmosphere after seeing the amazing fight between the two of them, while the participants who had not competed were also still feeling restless, because there was no one there. Who knows who they will fight next? The arena has been reorganized to return to its original state, considering that the destruction of the arena this time was quite severe. Of course the organizers will try their best to repair the damage. Two matches have taken place, both of which were successful in destroying the arena, and had unpredictable results. The participants in the audience became tense again, just like the other spectators who watched from TV or the arena. Even Kawaki and Shinki who were there to watch the match were also curious, and couldn't wait to see this third match. After the repair of the arena was deemed sufficient by Naruto, he then instructed Konohamaru to continue the match. Konohamaru swiftly went down and prepared to take the next scroll. Of all the participants who were seen waiting, there was one person who looked the most restless, namely Sarada Uchiha. How not? With the promise they made earlier, Sarada continues to instill a promise to fight with their full strength, in order to overcome any opponent they will face, and will make all members of Team 7 become Chunin, so if Boruto and Mitsuki don't appear on time when their names came out to fight, then both of them were certain to fail from this Chunin final exam, because they were immediately disqualified. Sarada in her heart hoped anxiously that the two members of her team could appear before the entire battle in the final exam ended. Konohamaru's hand entered the exam venue, and brought 2 scrolls containing the names of the participants who will fight. Sarada continued to pray that what came out at that time was not the name of her friend. As the final arbiter for this Chunin exam, Konohamaru Sarutobi then began announcing that the third battle would begin, and the participants had to start getting ready if their name was chosen. The participants fell silent, holding their breath, their heartbeats also quickened, and their minds began to wonder deeply about who would be their next opponent, and who would be fighting next in the third match. After holding the 2 scrolls, Konohamaru looked at the remaining Ganon one by one in the audience. Even Iwabe and Wasabi, who were in the treatment room, didn't want to be left behind to see the announcement of the next participant who would compete from the TV that was there. Not wanting to prolong the tense atmosphere, Konohamaru then opened the scroll containing the names of the participants in the next match, and then simultaneously opened the 2 scrolls, and the names of the next participants that appeared were ChoCho Akamichi and Sarada Uchiha. With the selection of participants who will compete in this third match, suddenly everyone became surprised. This is not without reason, considering that these 2 people are close friends from childhood until now. Of course, the 2 of them felt the same way. ChoCho was so shocked, she dropped the potato chips she was eating that time. Sarada was just as shocked as ChoCho, but on the other hand she was a little grateful that the name that came out wasn't Boruto or Mitsuki, so she could give a little time for the 2 friends. After calming down enough, ChoCho and Sarada immediately looked at each other from a distance, because the position they were sitting at that time was quite far apart, without saying anything to each other, but it was clear that the 2 of them were not happy about this. Those who used to always be together, and supported each other as friends, now they only looked at each other, as if they couldn't bear to make one of their friends fail to become a Chunin at that time. Plus the fact that ChoCho and Sarada have never fought each other, even though it's from their small hearts, that there will be a situation that requires them to fight it out with each other, never thought that time would come this fast. ChoCho and Sarada then simultaneously descended to the arena to start the match, after arriving in the middle of the arena, and stood facing each other, but they still couldn't hide their tension. A sudden awkwardness ensued as they finally stood opposite each other. Breaking the silence, ChoCho opened a conversation between the 2 of them. ChoCho said that she would face Sarada. She even revealed that she would not hold back even if she had to hurt Sarada. Looking at ChoCho, who was full of confidence, instead Sarada showed doubt in her eyes. With a bit of a stammer, Sarada said that she would do the same. She even said that she would not hesitate even if she had to scratch ChoCho's face. Hearing those words, ChoCho joked a little to Sarada that whether Sarada would have the heart to hurt her cute face. ChoCho said teasingly, and ended their short conversation. Konohamaru also checked the condition of the 2, and as usual he gave a brief rule regarding the one-on-one match in the final Chunin exam this time. Namely, the participant will be declared defeated when they is unable to continue the match or faints, and at that time Konohamaru also added that he also had the right to stop the match in certain situations, namely situations that endanger the life of the examinee, and also when the situation where the participant is caught cheating or so on. Both of them are ready to nod, a sign of agreement, and will follow the rules. The 2 of them then put on their stances, and fighting stances, indicating that the 2 of them were ready to start this one-on-one fight. Konohamaru then once again announced that the second battle in the final Chunin exam was a one-on-one battle, between ChoCho Akamichi from Team 10, and Sarada Uchiha from Team 7, and with this, their battle has officially started. The match began with being marked by Konohamaru jumping up to be above the stadium, to watch the participants from above as the referee, while Sarada immediately opened an attack by darting quickly at ChoCho, while preparing to punch her. This is similar to what she did in the past. The previous Chunin exams, where she defeated his opponent in seconds with just one punch. ChoCho didn't expect Sarada's opening attack to be that fast, so she didn't have time to protect her stomach. Luckily for ChoCho, the momentum of Sarada's fist suddenly changed. Sarada, who opened the attack very quickly, at the last moment her speed suddenly decreased. While turning her face, there seemed to be doubt in Sarada's expression. ChoCho immediately blocked Sarada's fist with a good bow, to reduce the damage she would receive. After being successfully detained, ChoCho was dragged back a few meters, beyond what ChoCho thought. She didn't expect to receive such a weak punch from Sarada, because as is well known, Sarada has very high chakra control like her mother, so by concentrating chakra into her fists, she can punch hard, and destroy whatever. After receiving a hit from Sarada which had no impact, ChoCho immediately felt something strange from her best friend at that time. Sakura also began to feel anxious watching from the hospital TV. Failed in the first attack, Sarada's carelessness was immediately used by ChoCho to launch a deadly counterattack to Sarada. ChoCho immediately became Giant Ball, then launched a human bullet tank at Sarada directly. ChoCho seemed to immediately attack Sarada with her best attack without any hesitation. Seeing the attack moving at high speed, Sarada then activated her 2 Tomoe Sharingan. Because of that she was able to avoid ChoCho's first wave of human bullet tanks. After successfully evading Sarada and looking back, an astonishing thing happened there. Sarada thought that the human bullet tank would keep turning to aim at her again, instead it kept going fast without reducing its speed. Then suddenly Sarada began to wonder in her mind. It turned out that not only Sarada was surprised, the audience was also amazed at what ChoCho was doing. Even Denki who was watching said, if ChoCho doesn't change the direction of his attack then the move will be in vain. Something different happened at ChoCho's house. Unlike the other spectators who were surprised, Choji actually smiled and said loudly, "Do it ChoCho." The unimaginable thing happened. The human bullet tank ChoCho actually bounced on the wall, and again aimed at Sarada. Then when avoided, she kept bouncing from one side to the other, like a pinball in the game center. The more bounce happened, the faster the human bullet tank ChoCho goes. Plus the condition of the arena which is in a circular shape, the more favorable the direction of the reflection of the human bullet tank ChoCho. Sarada, who continued to dodge, began to lose the stability of her steps, until the countless reflections that the human bullet tank was now pushing toward Sarada, but she couldn't avoid it. Sarada didn't stay still with her Sharingan. She could calculate the time it took to make a seal move. Sarada quickly did a hand seal, and do a fire-style, fireball technique, at the human bullet tank. The two balls collided with each other, but due to the difference in speed and strength, Sarada's fireball could be easily penetrated by ChoCho. Suddenly the human bullet tank hit Sarada, causing her to bounce hard against the stadium wall. After a hard hit just now, the human bullet tank turned back into ChoCho normal shape, but ChoCho looked dizzy and wanted to vomit. Then she said that for a while she couldn't use this move anymore. On the other hand, Sarada got back up from the rubble of the crushed stone building, and back to his feet. It turns out that the great attack just now was not enough to defeat Sarada. Because they know each other's abilities, ChoCho feels like there is something strange about her best friend, because ChoCho feels that Sarada is not as strong and aggressive as usual. Sarada keeps dodging without trying to reply with serious attacks on ChoCho. When ChoCho asked about it, Sarada just silent then told ChoCho not to talk much and continue this match. ChoCho, who already understands the nature of her best friend, starts to feel annoyed because Sarada doesn't want to fight her seriously. With anger that appears, ChoCho then said if you continue to stay there then he will be the one who will attack Sarada first. ChoCho also uses Bubun Beka on her right hand, then says that not only Sarada can grow and get stronger, then a continuous electric current appears in her hand, which then makes ChoCho's hand look like it's covered by a lightning boxing glove. Having a mother from Kumogakure Chunin, of course ChoCho will have the possibility to use the lightning element like her mother, and with this the Ino Shika Cho trio now, each carry the power of their father and mother at the same time. Back in the fight, Sarada was of course surprised by the new moves, and ChoCho's development. She didn't think that her best friend would grow stronger this fast, to have the lightning element like her. As if not letting Sarada take time to breathe, ChoCho immediately prepared to punch Sarada with her big hand electric punch. Sarada at that time of course did not want to stay silent. This time she used lightning style, lightning ball, which was directly directed to block ChoCho's fist. Without hesitation ChoCho also punched Sarada's lightning ball, as if it was nothing. Luckily for Sarada that she has Sharingan so she can dodge ChoCho's punch, but Sarada is still hit by the blast, her body bounces back. Not eliminating the opportunity for ChoCho to return to chasing Sarada, and showering her with continuous fists, the limitations of Sarada's Sharingan began to appear. ChoCho's speed continued to increase due to the electricity that continued to flow in her. ChoCho openly showed her Kumogakure technique in front of all the audience, making Naruto those watching at that time remembered the figure of the fourth Raikage. Now Sarada still trying to survive, her body is battered by electricity, and ChoCho's fist. While closing her eyes, Sarada is talking in her heart, she says sorry to Boruto and Mitsuki. After thinking that the atmosphere suddenly calmed down, when she opened her eyes, she saw ChoCho's fist was only 1 centimeter away from her face. Sarada was confused while looking at ChoCho, with the size of the hand back to normal, the unexpected things happened. ChoCho slapped Sarada's cheek so hard, that the sound of her slap filled the silent arena. Everyone was shocked, including Sarada. While looking at Sarada, ChoCho started to cry. She said that how she can become a chunin with her victory like this. Sarada, who saw her best friend, couldn't hold back her tears. While crying, ChoCho continued talking. She said that if Sarada was her true friend, there was no reason to hold back and fight with all her might. ChoCho even added that she'd better not be Sarada's friend if she knew her best friend would hold back like this. Sarada also said that it was also hard for her to do this, because she didn't want to hurt ChoCho. An emotional atmosphere occurred. Something that had never happened in the history of the Chunin exams happened. The two enemies hugged each other, and ChoCho said that she would never forgive Sarada if she liked this. Sarada smiles and says that it also applies to you. Suddenly Konohamaru and the audience all silent, and even surprised, unlike Choji who actually laughs at home. After wiping their tears, they then retreated back to the side of the arena and prepared to fight again seriously. The battle continued after there was an inner problem that occurred. The two best friends' gazes changed. They looked serious and could do anything to defeat their enemies, especially Sarada, who didn't show the slightest doubt from her eyes like before. ChoCho opened the attack, as if it was her last move to gain victory. ChoCho converted all the fat she saved to activate the Akamichi clan's butterfly mode, plus her body was electrified by Kumogakure Ninja. The next attack would be heavy for Sarada. Sarada's Sharingan continues to focus on paying attention to ChoCho, but after something extraordinary happened, ChoCho suddenly disappeared and immediately appeared beside her. ChoCho has managed to gain extraordinary speed. ChoCho also attacked Sarada. The attack successfully hit Sarada. Sarada's Sharingan this time was at a level that couldn't keep up with ChoCho's speed. Sarada stepped back, jumped high, then used Fire Style. Fireworks Fireball, where she let out a lot of small fireballs like fireworks throughout the arena, because she wanted to close the path of ChoCho's movement. But unlucky for Sarada, ChoCho turned out to be behind her and immediately kicked Sarada to the ground. Getting hit once again would certainly make Sarada lose. In an instant, Sarada used her fire again to the ground to stop herself from falling. Sarada is getting hurt with her burns, while ChoCho continues to have the upper hand. In desperation, Sarada in this deadly battle, seeing his child who was helpless, although at first Sasuke looked doubtful, then Sasuke shouted from above, he said, "Win Sarada." All the audience saw Sasuke. They didn't expect the Hokage's shadow to appear from above the arena, plus the fact that Sasuke, who was famously cold and quiet, would scream like that. On the other hand, Sarada was stunned. Sarada didn't expect that her father would watch her fight directly. With this support from Sasuke seemed to give Sarada strength. Her eyes changed, plus a confident smile appeared on her face. While smiling and saying from the bottom of her heart, Sarada said, "Thank you, Papa." The unexpected happened. Sarada's Sharingan eyes evolved. The two Tomoe in Sarada's eyes turned into 3. Sarada's Sharingan was already perfect. Who would have thought that fighting experience, urgency, emotional feelings, and encouragement from Sasuke would make her Sharingan evolve? Wasting no time, ChoCho immediately shot towards Sarada at high speed, but this time Sarada was able to dodge it easily. Sharingan has shown its fangs. Now ChoCho's super speed is no longer a threat to Sarada, because now she can follow ChoCho's attack movements easily, using her 3 Tomoe Sharingan. After many attacks, Sarada managed to avoid, but one of ChoCho's attacks had grazed Sarada's cheek until it made her bleed. Sarada immediately retreated. Sarada's stamina has reached its limit. Her eyes can follow every attack, but her body is too exhausted to dodge ChoCho's attack. On the other hand, ChoCho has also reached her limit. She can't use this butterfly mode continuously, so at the same time, the two best friends decided to end this with one last attack. Sarada has used various ninjutsu, and this is the time to use the strongest ninjutsu she has, as well the ace that she has been holding out for so far, for fear that it will have a serious impact on her best friend. That jutsu is Chidori. a high-level lightning elemental jutsu taught directly by his own father. Even the fact is that this is a level of jutsu that can only be mastered by a ninja who has at least a Jonin level, besides that only Sharingan users can maximize the jutsu. This because this jutsu gives the effect of very fast movement, so that the ordinary eye will not be able to follow it. Sasuke continued to watch his daughter from above, while Sakura was getting more and more panicked seeing her daughter getting cornered. Sarada now looks like a different person. She is like a bloodthirsty ninja who is ready to kill anyone in front of her, plus the effects of this Chidori move are terrible. The arena that was silent because all the spectators were silent as they were focused on this battle changed. The sound in the arena was filled with electric flashes generated by Sarada. The electric sound of the Chidori was like thousands of sparrows shouting at each other, plus the condition of the arena floor being destroyed by being on the ground near Chidori, really the effect of a very extraordinary stance. In an increasingly tense situation, Sarada then told ChoCho to end this immediately. ChoCho reluctantly replied, "Of course, because you are the one who will end." Immediately Sarada immediately used her hand seals, and took out a Chidori. Just like ChoCho, she raised one hand, and was electrified the same as before. These two friends had determined their final attack to gain victory. The situation in the arena was very tense. All the spectators were silent. They were focused on watching the all-powerful battle, because such a large scale of power was issued by two kunoichi with Ganon level. Even Naruto and the village officials broke out in cold sweat, seeing the atmosphere of this increasingly heavy battle arena. After gathering strength, Sarada and ChoCho then shouted in unison, towards the opponent with all their might. Their two attacks met and clashed, neither of them seeming to budge on each other as if to show that their attacks were balanced against each other. The situation is getting more tense with the destruction of the arena due to their attack energy, plus the Chidori lightning that is getting out of control. The two friends continued to scream, pitting their strength until the very last moment. The unexpected thing happened. During the struggle of strength, suddenly a crack appeared on the wings of the ChoCho butterfly, and the wings began to disappear into pieces. ChoCho was shocked. Choji, who was watching at home with his wife, said, "You've done your best, ChoCho. Dad is proud of you." ChoCho's strength weakened, and within seconds Chidori Sarada successfully bounced ChoCho to make her best friend's hand torn by Chidori's lightning, although not to the point of deforming her. ChoCho bounced and lay on the arena, as if not willing to give up. ChoCho kept trying to wake up and trying to stand up. His lying body was facing the sky, and he saw Sarada jumping on top of her while preparing to punch her from above. Sarada's signature scream came out. She shouted "Shanero," the sign that this punch would destroy ChoCho. Konohamaru prepared to stop Sarada if deemed necessary. He looked at Naruto, but Naruto just smiled as if telling him not to interfere until the end. Sarada immediately punched ChoCho's head. There was a loud bang, and a cloud of dust clouded the view. Sarada's fist stuck right next to ChoCho's head. From above, covered in sunlight, Sarada smiled and said, "I won," and ChoCho actually laughed while admitting defeat. Konohamaru also stopped the fight, and announced the winner was Sarada. Choji and Karui wept at home. Sakura jumped for joy at the hospital, while Sasuke had disappeared from the arena. Sarada immediately helped ChoCho up. Sarada felt guilty when she saw ChoCho's hand, which was badly injured by Chidori. ChoCho also said, "Oh, I have to repaint my nails like this." The two of them laughed together, and closed the third fight as the best fight so far. The situation was back in the Konoha district train. There were Boruto and Mitsuki in the front carriage. The two of them who were supposed to be in the Chunin exam arena got into trouble. After tracing all the parts of the train, they had found the three criminals, accompanied by Amato, who was being held captive. Although all the criminals seem like weak people, but Boruto has a very bad feeling, as if there is danger that will happen to them in the future, and this is all just a trap. Do Boruto and Mitsuki still have time to take the Chunin exams? Right, no one knows. That's all from Highlight Shinobi. What do you think about this video? Give your opinion in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss updates about the anime world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.